Now, this is a story all about how my car went from standard to how it is now. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'm going to tell you my story from this amazing chair. November 18th, 2016. This is the day that I picked up Zippy. Had absolutely zero intention of modifying it. Ford had already applied the MP215 kit as a part of their package, 5 years warranty. 4 months later I got some window tints because over here the sun's bloody hot, and that's how I intended to keep it. I did decide I wanted a bit more Mountune flavour to the car, so I went out and bought the gear shift gator, which I've still got to this day, which is really nice, very nicely made, straightforward fit, link up in the corner. And I also bought myself the silicone hose intake pipe, just so that when you open the bonnet there was something else there Mountune, because the airbox isn't very noticeable unless you know what you're looking for. Having owned turbo cars before, I did want a bit more sound, just to remind me that I was in a turbo car, because these things are so responsive. So I got a J1 pod filter adapter and a K&N pod filter. This satisfied me for a little bit, but I would eventually go back to the Mountune airbox for stellar mode. This is my most expensive purchase to date, which is the Racing Superturismo LM. I had these ceramic coated from new and had them fitted up. I spent so much time researching these, and it was down to these and some Sparko wheels, which were similar anyway, and I decided to go with the Racing wheels. I really like the design, I like the pattern. It's just, for me, it's my favourite wheel on these cars. There are some good ones out there, but these are my favourites. In the car park, waiting to have the wheels fitted, I decided I was going to fit the Mountune Symposer Delete. I thought it would be a quick and easy job. There were mixed reviews on whether it was easy or not. My Symposer got stuck in the pipe and took about 45 minutes to wrestle free, and that took all of 2 seconds to put in. But it was good, it got rid of the drone and gained a little bit more response. As you can see, the rabbit's got 2 feet in the hole and it's looking straight down. Let's see how far this goes. Mountune Mudflaps by Rally Armour. I really liked these. They took a long time to install, but again, still on my car, and I really like how it looks with the wheels. As most of us do, we sometimes struggle with the standard globes, so I bought the Autobeam full upgrade package, their high performance box. This included the dipped beams, they're low beams as you can see, which improve visibility greatly. This is my highest viewed video, which is the interior lights. That's a how-to video. The rear and brake light are amazing. The reverse lights are incredible. They give off so much light to the side. And the rear number plate lights and the fog lights. The indicators were mega bright, so I've actually swapped those out for the chrome ones. And later on, you'll see I swapped the side mirror indicators for their much newer sequential ones. This one's a must. The rear engine mount, I went for Mountune again to keep it all Mountune, and the yellow bushes being the softest option were good for me at the time. But now it's just like it probably should have been. It's nice. As soon as you put it in gear and come off the clutch, you can feel it more through your foot, that it's in gear and like what the clutch is actually doing, rather than the mount flexing as well. Now I'm thinking about the next track day. I'd already been on track, and the brakes, I wanted confidence in my brakes. So I got some DBA T3 4000 series brakes, some discs, the Forza FP3 pads, some HEL braided lines, and also the Motul RBF 600 fluid. We also did the rear and front springs, they're Mountune springs, Powerflex bushes for the rear spring isolators, and the GFB DV+. This little gear knob cap simply glues on in place of your standard one and was from Red 5 carbon fibre, very nicely made. I'm not going to mod this car, that's what I said 4 years prior. Now we're moving into the end of 2020 and I'm starting to do some improvements to the car that's going to help it with track days, rear engine mount, springs, DV+, intake for noise, all those things like that. It's been fun, and we're going to start to get into operation stage 2, which started at the end of 2020. These are the Autobeam sequential indicators that I mentioned earlier. They just update the outside of the car a little bit. Really like them, and then moved into the short shifter. Again, a fantastic little mod, a pain in the ass, well, particularly my intercostal muscles. I was out for about a week after doing this, trying to pull that bloody bell end out. Thought of it. Then operation stage 2 started. My first Whoosh performance purchase is a 200 cell catted downpipe to keep it legal on the road, and their short ram intake, which unfortunately I'd have to later swap out because the Remap didn't like it. But it was good while it lasted, and that intake sounded fantastic. Big thanks to Mitch, who's like the local guru in the Australian group. He installed the downpipe for me, which I ended up having ceramic coated. He did it pretty quick. It would have taken me a lot longer, but it added some nice burbles and a slightly deeper tone to the otherwise standard catback exhaust. Turbo whistle though. London Raceway does timed laps, so I started chasing times and handling mods. I got the white line rear sway bar, which was fantastic, and if you don't know what to do with it, you can just hold it like a spear. But the install is really simple and anyone can do it. The holes are already there for those massive bolts. All you need to do is add it on, and the transformation of that rear sway bar, the rear feels so much more connected to the front, but again, check the link of the video. With the future in mind and track days calling, I got the Puma Speed Pro 450 intercooler, and this is by far the biggest job I've tackled by myself, taking the front bumper off and installing the intercooler. The intake temps have been fantastic ever since, and I'm really glad that I did this upgrade. Definitely a must for something like stage 3. I only went as far as stage 2, but it's there. Another purchase from Whoosh Motorsports was their crossover pipe. Again, thinking to the future, Operation Stage 2 was well underway by now, and I decided to get a crossover pipe. It looked fantastic. It was ceramic coated in black, so with the engine cover on and the cowl, it blends in really nicely, and you wouldn't even really know it's aftermarket unless you knew what a standard one looked like. Tiny little bit more turbo noise, but pretty minimal. By this stage, the channel had started to get a little bit of momentum, and I was talking to Dave from DC3D Design, and this was his prototype at the time. It wasn't quite released yet, the bulletproof handbrake hole cover, and I got it in two options. I got a textured plastic similar to standard, and I got a carbon fibre, which I ended up installing. Massive thank you to Dave. He designs all of his own products. They're all made in the UK, and you know, you get what you pay for. With all the hard work done and all the hardware installed, it was ready for stage 2. Now, I did put together a video where I drove a bunch of different cars with different stage 2 maps to help me make my choice. And then it was time to choose and get it done. Now, I picked Revo, and I'm stoked with Revo. I cannot tell you how happy I am with this remap. Here's what I first thought of it. Okay, so this is really my first drive. First time I'm really going to put my foot down. Holy shit. Wow. With the remap done, it was time to enjoy the car. I went to Sydney Dragway and did a 14.0 quarter mile, which I thought was pretty good. Then I went back to Luddenham to try and set a new PB with the remap, but it was the wettest track day I've ever been on. No PBs there. The next mods were basically trying to catch up to the remap. Boost pipes, catback exhaust, you know, things like that. Here they are. After having issues with the first set of boost pipes not fitting, I just went and bought the Whoosh Motorsport set. This cold side pipe has the no province for the Symposer, so it just deleted that anyway. And these fit up like a gem. I just fitted this in my mate's garage. The hot side pipe hooked up to the standard turbo. Both pipes hooked up straight to the Pro 450 intercooler. And there's also a little province in there for meth injection, which I'm not going to use, but it's there if you want it to. And like I said, they fit up nicely. The Puma Speed R Sport Sump Baffle came next. With track days being done, I just wanted a bit of extra insurance for oil. At this stage, I had the Yokohama 8008R semi-slicks on the car, and I was getting a fair bit of scrub, as you can see, with the Mountune springs and the bit of extra width. They're a 215/40 tyre on a 17 by 7.5 plus 40 wheel. Now, I thought and I'd hoped that adding some camber would just eliminate the scrub, but it didn't. Another popular video. The Lufi XF Revolution multi-gauge. This is pretty good. It allows you to see a lot more info than you would normally see on your standard dash. And I've done a couple of videos of the install and how to set it up and playing with the settings. But all in all, for the money, these are pretty cool. Hit up Spark Plug Steve for this. I'd been sitting on these door trim spears from Red 5 Carbon Fibre for quite a while actually, and I decided that I wanted to fit them. These basically glue just straight onto the standard trim, but once installed, they're really nice and they just add a bit of sportiness to the inside of the car. Because Aussie roads are shit, I got the fog light armour in Helios Yellow for the standard fog lights. And then I also have the RSP Engineering fog light ducts, passenger side and driver side, with the LED fog lights, which look fantastic. And I can't wait to get pics. The car was still rebadged as Mountune. I still had the gel inlays from DMB Graphics. So I decided that needed to change. I got some new custom inlays from DMB and some Revo Stage 2 badges. Mishimoto decided they didn't like Australia anymore and they were leaving. They had a massive clearance. I picked up their trunk brace for about $130, I think. It was a really simple install. Because I already have the white line sway bar, I don't think I've found any improvements so far, but I'm yet to get it on track. I also managed to pick up their radiator for $330 instead of $900 and something. Catback exhaust was long overdue. It's a 3-inch downpipe, so it's 3-inch off the downpipe into a cylindrical resonator, and then it goes down into a 2.5 the rest of the way. This not only added a little bit of noise, but very little drone and much needed gas flow for the Revo Stage 2 remap. gauge too. Well, shit. Didn't exactly keep it standard, did I? Anyway, these things happen. There's still more to come. I've got some PowerFlex stuff that I need to install. I have a boost gauge that I need to install. I also want to get an LSD, looking likely at an M factory, and coilovers. So they're expensive things now. That's probably why I haven't got them, to be honest. I have set up buymeacoffee.com. I've got a link down below, and I've also put the LSD and the coilovers on a wish list. Not that I expect anyone to pay for my stuff for me, but watch some ads. If you want to buy me a coffee, but other than that, I just appreciate your support and your views, your likes, your comments. Tell me what you think of the car, the mods, what you've done to yours, what you would have done different, and yeah, we'll have a chat in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for keeping up with the car so far, and I look forward to sharing more with you in future. Cheers, guys.